welcome to another episode of Songs from the Attic. I'm Sid, and Kirk's the other guest for today. And today we're going to do the really difficult task of looking at Madness's albums and ranking them from worst to best. So, Kirk, we've done the singles one, and we're not going to give away any clues in terms of what we came up with. But as we were talking about the other day, what are your general thoughts regarding Madness as a band?
I think it's well, the classic English band that the stories that they tell, from when they were very young, and the things they got up to, and I say they matured greatly and took the mantle, the Ian Jury style, and I just think it's wonderful. It's a life story, isn't it? I think probably the easiest way to sum them up.
It is.
There's nothing too far-fetched. You can kind of like believe a lot of the things what they're trying to say in their songs, because we've all been there and done it, having a great time, being a kid, baggy trousers, to, being drunk and hanging from a lamppost. Been there, done that.
That's a fair summarization. And as a band, I was saying recently, I don't think any other band sort of mirrors their audience more than Madness. They genuinely look like the audience, don't they? A load of older fellas. It's quite funny. So
yeah, if you've got no hair and own a checky shirt, you pretty much can guarantee you're a Madness.
Nailed it.
That's it. You're in the gang.
So when did you first hear Madness then?
Oh, well, the first single I ever bought was My Girl. So it kind of then they were relating to us. I was like, yeah, and these amazing songs, I think because I was like kind of like 14, 15, around that age, the type when you're starting to be a bit more like you're making your own choices, you're not listening to what other people are telling you are great bands, just kind of making up your own way. And I think when we were at school, we kind of like had this little divide. There was pretty much everybody who liked, your Kachagoogoo and Durans. And we were in this crazy gang of misfits who were skinheads with Crombies and Motorhead fans and Kiss fans. So we were just left alone. We used to go to the City Tavern with our Crombies on and that, and if when you were drinking in there, even the women drank brown ale from the bottle. It was tough for us, but we kind of like half accepted it, as in we weren't allowed into the room, but we're allowed on the staircase. That's where we were allowed to drink. You weren't allowed to come in any further, but you were cool if you're there. So yeah, 14, 15, My Girl, it was just starting to I was starting to understand music and kind of enjoy it. Probably go to school discos as well.
I mean, it was like you, it was 79, late 79, the first album. And I remember because I was in a little, we were in, well, what it was like at the time in the late 70s, it was loads of it was a gang culture, wasn't it? Yeah. And you either had to be a punk. Mod had made a massive revival, so you're a punk, a mod, a Teddy boy. There was loads of Teds. People forget about the Teds. There was tons of Teds, and they were by far the hardest. You had punks, mods, Teds. You had skinheads. You had the rude boy movement just kicking off with like the two-tone tour and all the rest of it. You had all the metalers who were into sort of Motorhead, as you say. The new wave of heavy metal was just coming along as well. So there's a massive range of different types of gangs, and you had to sort of be into one of them, your punk new wave sort of group. And they sort of merged almost into the rude boy movement. So I remember being in a disco when I was a little kid called the Matchbox. And we were all dancing to the Skids, they did this weird dance, like dancing around.
How high were you kicking?
Very high, very high. To be dancing the Skids or whoever was on at the time, or SLF, and you've been, for some weird reason, we're doing like this backward pogo going around the venue. So it's quite surreal in hindsight. And then all of a sudden, One Step Beyond came on. I think it was like late 1979, and One Step Beyond came on. And I was thinking, what the hell is this? And everyone started dancing, and it was totally different. It was a different dance. Nobody was pogoing, nobody was doing that bouncy dance. It was a different thing. And I remember thinking, wow, that's really, really different. And then from that moment onwards, got massively into Madness. And Madness were huge in Newcastle. I mean, I remember them talking a number of times on various tours where they said Newcastle had the highest percentage of the members of the fan club within the country, you know, so that was something that was really, really huge up in this area. And Madness took off enormously. As you see everywhere you went, there was aerosol sprays, the big M sign and stuff up on walls.
Oh, I could still draw that brilliantly.
You see the Crombie.
I was responsible for them, yeah. You know, probably everywhere you saw in Newcastle, I would have been there with me Sharpie pen, you know, or whatever it was.
So the Rude Boy look took off massively, and I say it was like ex-punks turn, because it was very similar anyway. There's a similar sort of vibe. So as I say, we're all huge Madness fans. We've both seen them well into the 20s amount of times. Oh, tons. What was the first time you saw Madness live? When was that?
That was it was the 1980 Christmas shows. I think it was 1980, and then 1980. So they did, I think what's called the 12 Days of Christmas, something like that.
Right.
And they did a matinee. Well, of course, £1 was a lot of money in those days, you know. So we did and I believe the Newcastle was the first date on the 12 Days Christmas tour. So, and on my Crombie, I had the badge sewn on. It's like it was the Madness Man, but it had a Santa Claus hat. So I just was so cool. I just thought it was amazing. You know? With me earrings stood, of course, on your little red inner lining to the pockets, just peeping out there. So yeah, that was the first time, and that was let's have a think now. Absolutely, had been released.
Right.
So was that 81?
80, I think.
80 as well. Oh. Yeah, because the albums come thick and fast, don't they? Just, I think we talked about the Jam the other day, you know, like, you know, 2 albums in 6 months. So it was probably like, come on, lads, you can turn some more stuff out.
Well, those are the days of crazy record deals, and you had to literally churn an album out, at least 1 album out a year, which is incredible when you think about it. When you think like Peter Gabriel and Kate Bush don't do one for every 15 years, you know.
I know. It's funny when there's so many bands I used to go to see, and what would happen is they would tour and then the album would come out, and I always think, well, what's the point in that? We don't know what the new songs are. So you were like listening to stuff thinking, and then by the time they came out, you thought, oh, that was brilliant. But then they moved on to the next album, and then we're playing the stuff live before the other album was released as well. It was like, it's Stranglers. Like, I can remember every time I saw them, exactly the same. I was like thinking, why don't you release the album first and then tour?
That would make sense. But I'll get up to when I saw them a little bit later. We'll get into the show. So as I say, we're going to rank the 12 studio albums. We're not going to do any live albums or anything like that, unless they're absolutely essential in terms of the band's discography, and they're not really for Madness. Okay, Kirk, as you can see on the board there, we've got our rankings for the albums. People can see, they can read themselves. 5 being a masterpiece, 4 magnificent, so on and so forth. 3 is a good album, 2.5's fair, it's average, it's all right, you know, 2 weak, 1 awful, half a star, don't bother. It's got to be pretty desperate to be half a star, let's be honest. Okay, Kirk, would you like to go first in with your 12th ranking album, the worst one? Which one is it?
The most rank Madness album there possibly is. The one that you don't touch. The one that should never have been made. The Madness.
Yeah, it stinks. Go on, tell me.
It's just awful. There's nothing there. It's you know, when you go to see Siouxsie and he does the spoken word tour, and he'll just tell you how, you know, he was hitting a drummer or a drum machine for 3 weeks or something, trying to get this great sound. That didn't happen though. It's just dreadful. Nothing. There's nothing there, and I would score it.
How many stars are you going to give it?
The cover is terrible. I'm going to give it. Should we give it 1?
Right, you're giving it 1 star. All right, 1 star for The Madness. Okay, well, you'll be surprised to learn, Kirk, my 12th album is The Madness.
Really? That's a surprise.
It just stinks. It's a dreadful album. It came out in '88. Half the band had gone at that point under various controversial circumstances. It really wasn't the band, you know. It's a terrible album. I mean, so the production is truly abysmal. Electronic drum songs everywhere. I keep expecting that Kelly Marie song to make an appearance. I think there is a boo-boo somewhere on one of the tracks. It's really hard to see anything that's decent. I mean, Kneel Down the Days was terrible. There's a song called What's That? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, what's that?
It's what I've written next
I
to
pronounce you as well. That's on there. I pronounce you dead and buried.
I think I quite liked In Wonder, and I use the word quite liked in the loosest possible term. And Thunder and Lightning, I've written fairly decent. Again, 1 star for me. 1 star. It's got to be pretty abysmal to get 1 star, and unfortunately, it is. So, Kirk, what have you got regarding 11, position 11? What have you got?
Well, it's kind of slightly getting better, obviously. I mean, that is a real turkey, that one. That's, nobody will keep returning to that to think maybe there was something I've missed.
Yeah.
So I'm putting in the Danger Man. It's a bit harsh, but we'll have to have them, in some sort of order. It's not the worst thing I've ever heard. As you see, it's cover versions. It's kind of what Madness like, all the things we're inspired by. It's just an okay album. A 2.
Yeah, we're matching up. Yeah, my number.
Yeah, I tell you.
My number 11 is Danger Man, Volume 1. I wonder what Volume 2 is. Covers album. It's hard to give a covers album for me more of a ranking. This is Where is very good. I've written down Shame and Scandals, decent. I Chase the Devil's excellent. The Max Romeo tune. Keep Me Hanging On's all right, pretty good. I hate Lola with an absolute passion. Not just by them. I actually hate the Kinks song Lola. It just that doesn't do it for me as a song, and I love the Kinks. And we were saying before recently as well. We're talking about Madness. Madness follow that line, that linear line of the Kinks about being very English. You start off, I would say, music hall, obviously, and then it comes further forward. You've got like Noel Coward originally. You've got like the likes of, you've got the likes of the Kinks, and then band-wise, you've got the bands. You've got Ian Dury. We're seeing Madness the other day. We'll talk about XTC, who I'm a huge fan of. Weller, of course, with the jam, that very English sound. And then later on in life, you've got bands like Blur, all very English, got a specific sound. It could only ever come from England, if you like. And that's probably half the reason why most of them never really took off in America. It was just too niche. And Madness fall into that category, definitely. Going back to the album, yeah, it's just all right. It's fair. It's fair. So I've given it 2.5 stars. I think it's fair. It's decent. If it's on, I'll listen to it. I won't go out my way to play it and think, oh, let's listen to the Danger Man. It's all right. Okay. So what have you got at number 10?
Number 10, Wee Wee.
Oh, okay.
It's My Girl Too. Just isn't a bad song, actually. It's not too bad. It's got Misery in there. I'm just not the track listing now. Death of a Rude Boy. It's just an okay album. It's not too bad. Again, we'll have to put it's something's got to go to the bottom of the pile. And it's not the first album by a mile I would quickly run to listen to. So not really that much more I can say about it. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's the album. And again, I go around it. I think 2.5 is not unfair, but two might be a bit too harsh, but 2.5.
Yeah. Well, I've gone for my number 10. I've gone with Keep Moving. I think it starts off very good, well, you've got Keep Moving, good. Michael Caine's excellent. Turning Blue, I've written's a good tune. One Better Day is fantastic. I really like March of the Gherkins with that Motown feel. It's good. I also really love Waltz in Mischief, which has got that sort of obviously waltz sort of sound. It could easily fit in later on in life into sort of the Norton Folgate album, which they develop much later, of course, into a much better sound. Victoria Gardens is great. And it's got
I don't know how you can put that in there. To me, I mean, look, you've got Samantha, which is a great song.
Samantha, I've got
I mean, you've got Keep Moving, Sun and Rain, Wings of a Dove, Brand New
No, no,
Beat,
no.
Michael Caine,
Depends on which
Victoria
version.
Gardens.
Depends on which version you go, though, doesn't it? Because the USA have The Sun and the Rain and Wings of a Dove. They don't have it in the UK version.
Around that time, so but it was, you know, and Mike Boston had left on this album.
Yes, he left at the end. Yeah. I mean, I've got Victoria. If they had Sun and the Rain and Wings of a Dove on, it would be an extra half a star, without a doubt. I mean, I love the fact that the beat guys are in the background. Time for Tea is good. I like that. It's all right. I just think it's all right. Yeah, I think it's all right. I think there's some good songs on it, not bad. I've given it 3 stars. So it might seem harsh, but I've given it 3 stars. Yeah. What have you got in at number 9, Kirk?
Number 9. Again, now we're getting down to kind of the nitty gritty. So Liberty of Norton Folgate, which it's a really quite good album, you know.
Wow, okay.
I know, because I've had to rank them. And
you know where I'm going, then go on.
So the Liberty of Norton Folgate, it's really quite a good album. It's got some good songs on. Obviously, we know about Dust Devil, which has been Lee Thompson, you know, which obviously writes a lot more and, you know, has these obviously a different meaning to what you think it is, you know. I think Sugar and Spice, okay, that Forever Young, it's really quite a good album. It's well put together. NW5 as well. But again, I had to rank it. I'm not too sure about Fish and Chips Parade, like, but anyway, okay, it's a fairly good album, and the 3.
Okay, my number 9 is Can't Touch Us Now. I think it's not bad. Chaz Smash, sadly, it departed at this point. The band seem to have members going in and out of the band at different times. I know at least 3 of them have gone in and out of the band. And Siouxsie describes it as a fluid process where they're in and they're out and what have you, you know. I think the opening's good. First song's good. Some great songs. Blackbird's excellent. Another Version of Me is good. Herbert is terrific and amusing. Don't Leave the Past Behind is good. Given the Opportunity, good reggae tune. Mr. Apples is the standout song. It is absolutely magnificent. One of the best songs they've ever written. It's sleaze-tastic. It's superb, really catchy, really funny, really well written. Just a great song and a decent album, a good album. It's a 3-star album for me. Yeah, it's pretty good. I've given it 3 stars. Okay, so that's Can't Touch Us Now from their last album, 2016. Okay, Kirk, what album have you got in at number 8?
I have Can't Touch Us Now, which again, you pretty much summed up everything I would have said about the album. I think it's a really good, a really positive album. It's a good album to listen to. You know, it's got pretty much everything you wanted to hear from Madness. A nice return. You know, they're finding their way. That, you know, you kind of like, they don't seem to be worried about what they're singing about anymore. Yeah. You know, it's like, we are Madness. We have our fans, and these are the songs that we like to sing. You know, so really good, really well put together album, and there's a lot of tracks on there as well.
Yeah, there is probably too many. I think a bit of editing would have really helped the album.
Yeah. So God, yeah, I couldn't believe how long it was. But yeah, super. Nice, kind of like the cover is pretty much, you know, you can see all the little things that they're just hiding in there, you know, that are just kind of bits and bobs, you know, maybe from something like The Rise and Fall, when you had a few like little which go back to the songs that they were singing on the album. So yeah, not a bad album at all, and a nice 3, easy 3.
Yeah, okay. Well, my next number, at number 8, is Mad Not Mad. I've really grown to like this more, actually, as the more I've listened to it. It's not an album I'd listened to an awful lot. At this point, Mike Boston had left and Steve Naive out with the Attractions had joined the band. And there's some really great songs in it. I'll Compete is absolutely fantastic. I've got 5-star song written down here. I really love it. Yesterday's Men's great. Uncle Sam's a song I didn't really like that much, but I really started to grow to like it now. White Heat's decent. Mad Not Mad. It's a great song, apart from the DX7 keyboard sound thing of the 80s, which was absolutely crap. But good song, really good song. Sweetest Girl, even by the fella Scritti Politti. What's his name again?
Green.
Green, it's pretty good. It's a nice little tune. Burning the Boats is very soulful, isn't it? It's quite a soulful album. It's a real soul type album, this one. They've gone for a real sound on it. And the sound has definitely gone for a soul sound. Time's got an unusual feel, and I really like Coldest Day. So I thought it was actually a very good album. So at number 8, for me, I've given it 3.5 stars. All right, 3.5 stars for that. For Mad Not Mad from 1985. Okay, Kirk, what have you got in at number 7?
At number 7, we have The Wonderful, Wonderful. What a great album. This is, I think, Madness cooking. They've got everything right on this album. But again, I had to put it into a league. So it's just fun. It's got pretty much everything. I really love Love Struck, Johnny the Horse, Drip Fed Bread. I know I had to really concentrate there. Really, really good. I enjoy hearing these songs, even when they play them today. Sometimes they pick a few tracks from other albums, the later ones, but I think you can identify with them all. Really well wrote, an excellent album, a really good Madness album, really complete. And hey, I'm going to put a 4 in.
Right, 4 stars.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, good. Okay, that's your number 7. So my number 7, this is going to upset you.
Yeah,
is I'm really torn here. I'm going to go with Rise and Fall. So I've got my Rise and Fall. It's it reminds me very much of the Kinks Village Green Preservation Society. A song about a specific place, times, maybe even as well. It's really got that English feel to it. Superb opener, Rise and Fall is one of the best songs they've ever written, in my opinion. Blue Skin Beast and Tomorrow's Just Another Day. What a triplet to open with. 3 absolute corkers. I mean, Blue Skin Beast even is an attack on Thatcher's government at the time, and what was going on with the Falklands. It's very musical. Tiptoes, Sunday Morning, they've got that real sort of musical feel, which they sort of build upon later on in life when they do the Our House sort of, musical. So it works really well. Calling Card's a good song. Mr. Music has a real music hall feel. Our House, of course, is absolutely top draw. New Delhi's bizarre.
Yeah.
But I talked about it on the singles, and you were right. I was getting mixed up. I was thinking, I wonder if it links to the idea of big parts of London are named after the Commonwealth. There's huge parts of them all over the place. And I thought it must be linked. But I did some research, and it's not. He just clearly got the wrong end of the stick and thought it was the rise and fall of the empire. wrote this mad tune. It's an odd song. For me, it's a 3.5 stars album. It's a very good album. I think it tapers off. If I'm being honest. It starts off just unbelievably, and then it just drops a little bit to good, very good, but not quite there for me. So that's my number 7. What have you got in at number 6 then, Kirk?
Number 6 is Keep Moving for me. I think it's a great album. Sadly, this was kind of almost the end of Madness as a force, even though it's a pretty damn good album. I think they'd lost their appeal. They weren't, maybe they were just getting a bit older and they wanted younger people to be on top of the pops every week. Michael Caine was very dark. And basically, I think from this album, Madness were changing. This was it's the start of the moving away from the nutty sound. It's this is a standalone. I mean, One Better Day, classic, Brand New Beat, Victoria Gardens, which Victoria Gardens was going to be the single, and it ended up the B-side. I think I forgot about that. Yeah, Victoria Gardens. That's why on the cover of One Better Day, is it One Better Day? You see them dressed, and it's they've done the sleeve, and then at the last minute they changed it, so the sleeve is for Victoria Gardens. I'm not sure about that. Yeah. Write it in your comments if you think I'm wrong. So great, I think great opening track. Keep Moving. I think it's a great song. They didn't tour with this album as well. So there's kind of like one of them where when they did come back, Mad Not Mad, they may have played a few songs from this. But yeah, they didn't. This album wasn't toured. I still like it a lot. I think it's got a lot in there. I like even Give Me a Reason right at the very end. Tank Matisse, Samantha, I think it's a great song, Samantha. And as you say, Waltz into Mischief, just a bit funny. They always have like kind of like that daft, Return of the Lost Palmer 7, and there's always something a bit oddball in there. But yeah, very, very good album. And
4 stars. Okay.
Easy 4. Yeah.
All right. My number 6 is Absolutely. It's a really good album. I mean, the intro, the first 2 songs are just unbelievable. Aren't they? Baggy Trousers, obviously all about Suggs' time at school, or not, as the case may be. It was barely there by the sounds of it. And then Embarrassment, all about, as we said before, Tomo's sister getting pregnant to a black guy and an interracial child and all the rest of it. And superb song with a superb message, which worked out brilliantly in the end, as we know. And there's been like a documentary about it, and welcomed at the family, and Grandma just absolutely loved it a bit. So fantastic song. And I mentioned it as well, the fact that Weller was so influenced by the song that he ended up writing Town Called Malice based upon the beat, which double bubble, I think is the phrase. So great opener. I absolutely love Ernie. It's
brilliant.
It's a great song.
You have to explain what Ernie is to our
Ernie
American
is premium bonds that they have.
You know what premium bonds are? It's the forerunner to the lottery.
Yes.
Kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, you get a premium bond. My kids have premium bonds, I believe, for the granda. And every now and again, you'll win something off Ernie. It was very popular at the time. So yeah, Ernie's a great, catchy tune, really funny. There's a few good songs, other great songs on the album. Close Escape, Not Home Today, In the Rain, all good. Some real belters. Disappear is absolutely fantastic.
Take It or Leave It.
Take It or Leave It. I've got written.
They still play that. Like they'll put that in their set.
Take It or Leave It. I've got written 5 stars next to it. It's an absolute classic. Shadow Fear's okay. Yeah. Solid Gone is just a blues rip-off tune, isn't it? It's again.
Yeah, that's like the daft one.
Yeah, it doesn't really fit on the album for me. And then it ends with a great single with The Return of the Lost Palmer 7. So it's a fabulous follow-up, because the first album was so big, and for this album to come up so quickly in 1980, I mean, it was about a year, and it was whipped out, and to have 3-4 really big songs on it is quite an achievement, really, in such a short period of time. So very, very good, very, very good album. 4 stars for me. It's a 4-star album.
And Lost Palmer 7, I believe, is under 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it reached number 7, I believe. So it was kind of, but yeah, just for something to be so short. And it's good again. They'll drop it into that set now and again.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Great just to hear it. And again, remember what we talked about this when oh no, I forgot about this one. I forgot about that. Yeah. And it's just one of them. You think, oh, what a great tune.
It is. It is really one of those, isn't it? They do just drop it in every now and again. Right, Kirk, I believe we're into the top 5.
Top 5. My number 5 is the great album Mad Not Mad. Again, revisiting it at the time. Again, is there was a lot of things happening, and you have a lot of competitors, because Madness were then quite far into the history. So I was hearing it, and it was quite a having quiet backgrounds on and things like that. You know, it was quite a, you know, really well produced. It did take us a while to get into it. And then when you watched it, there were, oh God, I remember having the Mad Not Mad t-shirt, but it shrunk so much I had to get rid of it. I wish I still had it now, the 201.
Yeah, funny enough, a lot of my t-shirts from that time seem to have shrunk, and I can't
Like
figure out why.
I think if we bought the ones for like a £5 outside, they would have lasted longer.
Yeah.
You know, that's like 15 quid. So I'll compete. Yesterday's man, Uncle Sam, White Heat, Mad Not Mad. What a track. Sweetest Girl, not a fan of it at all. Hated the single. I thought
I like it.
Oh,
it didn't do very well though. Didn't break the top 30, did it, the single?
Thank God. Burning the Boats, what a great track. Tears You Can't Hide, okay. Time and Coldest Day, kind of the album was just like almost just fading away then, you know, and that's why the tracks are on the B-side. You know, not that people listen to A and B sides anymore, but I think it's a great album, and it's a 4.
Yeah, it's one of those albums. I think the more I listen to it, the more I sort of like it, you know. So it's one of them I'll definitely be returning to soon. Actually, I was quite impressed by it. Right, my number 5 is 7. I think it starts off brilliantly. It's the 3rd album, recorded in '81, and it was recorded originally in the Bahamas, and then they did bits of it in London. So apparently it's a bit of both places. It's got a sort of upbeat feel. Whether the part of that's because it started in the Bahamas, I don't know. Shut Up, Sign of the Times, for me is one of the most overlooked songs that Madness do. It's brilliant. It's a 5-star song, I think. Starts off great, obviously Cardiac Arrest, which is really grim, but works. Missing You, what a terrific funky drum beat that's got. It's got a real groove, fabulous chorus. It just really, really works. Mrs. Hutchinson, really, you know, also I like an awful lot. I think it's a
used to play that live virtually every time I saw them in the early days, and then it was just dropped completely.
Yeah,
you know, Siouxsie used to get your little snare drum, and they used to they would strobe light on, and they would keep running back and forwards and stuff. You just never hear that song. That is never played now, and it would be great to see that come back.
Well, I thought songs off this album like that, Tomorrow's Dream, Promises, they all seem to have like a musical feel, almost like they were planning for the Our House musical, and it's definitely got that sort of vibe about it. So I love it. It's a good album. Pack a Mac's great.
Oh yeah.
Opium Eaters is a great instrumental. Actually, I really like it. D on the Town, great reggae feel. It's got that 81 sort of feel about it. Actually, the one song I think is absolutely crap is Benny Bullfrog. It's just rubbish. You know, it's like, oh, dear me, I don't understand it.
That's the throwaway song on the album, but Benny Bullfrog is like loved by all the Madness fans. It's loved. It's because
it's not for me.
It's so stupidly. It doesn't mean anything, but it's great.
It just sticks out. It spoils what could have been an incredible album, and an album that I'm giving 4 stars. So it's still at 4 stars. It's a very good album. It's an excellent album, actually. Really, really recommended. Okay, Kurt, what have you got in at number 4?
Number 4, One Step Beyond. Oh, it's getting down to the nitty gritty now. I was like, scribbling out, putting in, moving things around. You know, when you first got that One Step Beyond, you were looking at all the photographs on the inner sleeve because everybody was in there. You know,
I've got a little story about that. One of the lasses I used to work with, Jackie, one of the teachers I used to work with, and she's on the inside cover. She brought it in. She goes, I can't believe this. She goes, when they were releasing it, we got told, send your photos in. And her and her mate went and took a photograph in a photo booth. And there she was from inside the album sleeve. You know, I couldn't believe it. I thought, wow, that's absolutely fantastic. That little collages, all those photos. She's one of them.
So it doesn't have Chaz Smash on the front cover because they didn't class him as a full-timer, but he gets on the back cover with these little these dance moves for you all to enjoy. But great, I mean, starts with One Step Beyond. My Girl, Nightboat to Cairo, you know, it just goes through. I've got the Mistakes bootleg, It's recorded at the wrong speed. Anybody who was a Madness nutter will probably know it. Anyway, it has like virtually, it's just the whole of the One Step Beyond with some B-sides as well. And it's just, Believe Me's in there, tracks that they'll never, ever play again. Just looking through there, The Prince, that first single, which is great. I mean, Tarzan's Nuts.
Tarzan's Nuts.
I mean, what's all that about them, In the Middle of the Night, which again, Lee's
dirty old George.
Yeah, but yeah, they
do still do that occasionally, though, don't they? They do drop it in on the odd gig. It does make an appearance occasionally.
Ben Breakfast Man.
Yeah.
I've got Razor Blade Alley, Swan Lake as well. The live version of Swan Lake, I used to love that. That was like, written by Tchaikovsky.
Used to take his hat off and do the dance and nut.
That's it. The nut and dance.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's it's just great. Great album. And then Mummy's Boy. Is that about Beddars?
I don't know.
I don't know if that was aimed at Beddars. Madness in there, which obviously they play every single time. And then just Chipmunks Are Go. I mean, how?
Yeah, it's great.
Really. We'll have Tarzan's Nuts and Chipmunks Are Go, right? It's just like, wow, God. But yeah, I mean, Bed and Breakfast Man. How that didn't ever be a single. I must have had a hard time choosing, obviously because I got One Step Beyond, My Girl, Night Boat to Cairo. Madness was a B-side.
Madness, yeah.
So
Madness was like an import, wasn't it? I remember it coming in as an import. So yeah.
Rocking is that A flat or something?
A flat, yeah.
Yeah. So the live version of Swan Lake, that's a gem. That is a peach. So that really livens it up, because I think the studio version's just that little bit flat, but when you hear it live, it is phenomenal. I mean, is that on Dance Craze possibly?
Yeah, I think it might be.
So that's when you see how that song performs. It is a real gem. I like that in that set. I do. So
how many stars then?
4.
Right. Okay, I thought you might have gone higher. Okay.
I'm holding back.
Right now then, my number 4 is Wee Wee CC Ya Ya Da Da from 2012. Put my teeth back in. I really like the album. Really like the album. Actually, it's the one album. It's not the one album, but it's the other one. When I played, I thought, oh my God, I really like this. And I listened to it more and more, and I've really grown to like it. My Girl 2, great. It's got that bouncy stacks mod type thing going on. To Never Know Your Name is, for me, one of the best songs that they've recorded. Melancholy, beautiful, lovely feel to it. Top song. Kitchen Floor, also melancholic. There's the melancholy feel to the album at parts, and then you get the ironic title Misery, which has got that happy upbeat ska feel. Leon, I've got 5-star written down. It's a song, should have been a single. It's got a great beat, tells a lovely story, tells a great story. Death of a Rude Boy, good song. Powder Blue, also a good song. It's one of those weird albums as well. It says bonus tracks on it, but you couldn't actually buy it without the bonus tracks. It just comes irrespective with the bonus tracks included. So it's a very good album. I've given it 4 stars. I've given it 4 stars again, still at 4 stars. Good album, really enjoyable. Not too long either, which I think they suffered with later on. I think it's just the right amount of time for it's a bit boring. So yeah, super album. Kirk, where have we got it? Number 3.
Number 3, we have Madness 7. What a great album. I love the classic, like the Sunset, like the pose, that they do. That was just great. Love the album. Remember going to Newcastle on the Saturday morning, literally 9 o'clock, going into probably Virgin Records, and then coming back on the bus, and I was just looking at this thinking, whoa. What am I going to get? And it was absolutely played to death. So it's kind of like, I was so looking forward to it, and I was so like Madness crazy like at the time. Well, not that I'm still Madness crazy now, but I just like everything, you know, everything revolved around it. Cardiac Arrest, great opening track, so underrated. It'd be great to hear them play that live again. Shut Up, it's superb. Shut Up, what a great.
Shut Up goes down so well live, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone waits for it and starts shouting the numbers down.
Aye, that's it. Sign of the Times, just a fab tune. Missing You, and the great Mrs. Hutchinson. You know, with the ending line, she will not last a week. It's just like, you know, that's it, dead. Tomorrow's Dream, great track, great. And Grady, as you see, Packer Mac. We're going through all these, like, from my pocket, I pick a Packer Mac. So it's about a cagoule.
Yeah, cagoule, as we call them. I don't know what they call them down south, but it was a cagoule, which were very in fashion at the time, weren't they?
Yeah, cagoules were great, man, because you had the little belt tube as well, so it didn't matter where you were. If it wasn't raining, you could just put it onto your belt, and that was so cool. Packer Mac, Promises. Again, Benny Bullfrog, your favourite. When Dawn Arrives, Will Be Near Us. It's a great album. And Day on the Town, you know, just actually just about them being on a bus, I think, isn't it? Something like that, just going around and looking at all the sights. Yeah, I think it's a super album, and it's going to definitely get a 4.5 for me.
Yep.
Lovely album.
Right, well, my number 3 is a 4.5 stars album, and that's One Step Beyond. Everything that you've said just summarizes the whole album. It's just fun. It was an introduction album, 1979. I mean, there's so many great albums in 1979. It was just incredible year for music.
Too much, man.
Just too much, far too much. And it was when I first got it, it's one of those albums I can put on now and you know every word to the album. And I'm rubbish at remembering lyrics, but I absolutely, I could name. It's just one of them songs you can just go on it, bang, sing it all the way through, dead easy. So right from the beginning to the end, it's fantastic. I'm not sure there's a weakness on the album. I genuinely love every track on it. The only gripes I have about it is it's a really thin sound. You could argue it could do with being a little bit fatter in terms of the production, so the production's quite thin. Also, Tomo's out of tune on the saxophone at times. He mentions in the book that came out a couple of years ago that he didn't know how to tune the saxophone, and so they kept getting him to double record the sax. So I think One Step Beyond's got 2, 3, maybe whatever on saxophones on it because he didn't know how to tune it. And so the band were like, detune it to sort of fit in with the sax. Of course, he learned by it for the following year. You know, I think Elvis Costello or somebody told him, no, you just turn the mouthpiece and you tune it that way. Didn't realise. It's just madness when you coin of phrase there. When you think about it, it's nuts. So you've got that. The songs are just so catchy. I was saying My Girl is a fantastic little vignette. Beautiful little story told in 2.5 minutes. What's fabulous as well, that I mentioned, is that David Bowie nicked the drum beat from it for Ashes to Ashes. He liked it so much, he kept whistling, singing it.
I never knew that. That was so good.
So we went into the studio for Scary Monsters.
Well, if it's not true, we'll make it true.
No, it's definitely true. Definitely true. Woody sort of lives off the story, and he told Tony Visconti, "I love that Madness song, My Girl. I want that drum beat for this song that I've written," and it was Ashes to Ashes. If you listen to them side by side, it's got virtually the same beat. It's got a real it's definitely got that beat. So that's great. I mean, Nightboat to Cairo is just great. Everyone knows the last song. I was telling the story about the fact that when I took my kids to their first ever gig and it was Madness, sort of coerced them off the matinee show at about 2000 and whatever it was.
At the O2?
At the Academy, and they had a matinee show on. And Littlin, she had the little fez on, was dancing away at that sort of Nightboat to Cairo because she'd watched it on the way, knew all the moves. I remember me and a mum and her elder sister were just looking at her, laughing. It was great to see. She's only about 4. Just superb. But every song on it's just dead catchy. It's a dead fast album. You whiz through it. And some lovely songs Razor played. At least one of the underlooked songs. It's a superb song. It's a real classic tune. It's got a real feel to it. Super album, as I say, 4.5 stars. Great, absolutely great album. If you're in a poor mood, stick that on. You can't not be cheered up by it. The other little anecdote I've got about that is the guys out of Voice in the Beehive came at my shop one day, and I was playing that album, and there goes, and they bought loads of albums actually when they came in, and they goes, oh, that's our drummer on the album. I didn't realise it, and we got free tickets to go and see them. I didn't go because I was busy that night, but Neil, my partner, went, business partner.
Was it Riverside or the University?
I can't remember. I think it was the Riverside. But Neil went, loved it, said it was a great gig. Said they were really good, but they were really nice guys. Actually, the two lads were really nice fellas as well. But yeah. Anyway, let's move on. The big two, Kirk. What have you got in at number 2?
Number 2, absolutely. Fabulous album. I had both like albums pretty much around the same time. One Step Beyond and Absolutely, and you could just it was just that little bit better. It just, I think the songs in it, obviously Baggy Trousers. I mean, when you're seeing that, you know, the video for the first time, and it was kind of like how videos could sell a song as well.
Yeah, it was.
That was just, you know, you were seeing like everything else before that. You got to remember there wasn't really many videos to promote songs, and Madness, like, well, they just thought this is a great tool. You know, we can act as daft as we like. Obviously, Lee Thompson always gets the short straw. But I think he quite enjoyed it. There was a thing when he was doing that at Glastonbury, and he went upside down, but they reckon he had loads of money in his pocket, and he was fuming because the money had fallen out, and he couldn't get back down to pick it up. And I think, oh, I thought it was great.
Oh, that's class.
So I mean, it starts with them. Baggy Trousers, classic Embarrassment, which we talk about all the time, is so good. Ernie, which we now know what Ernie is, and again, Close Escape, Not Home Today, On the Beat Pete. What a track that is! That's a I used to love that.
It is good fun.
Solid Gone again. That's probably the throwaway. Then side 2 coming in with Take It or Leave It. You know, about them being I don't know if they were in Italy or somewhere. And it was the first time that saw like armed guards, you know, with machine guns and all that, you know, and that's kind of like what the song is about, you know, how lucky we are to be free. Obviously now, I think they carry guns in football matches, the police. But Shadow of Fear, Disappear, absolutely excellent track, absolutely brilliant. Overdone, superb. In the Rain, it's really, really good. Played that. God, one of the first times they played the arena, I couldn't believe it as an encore. It was great to hear that. You said it's probably one of the weaker tracks, but still good. And then ending with Return of the Lost Palmers, just nice. It's just a great way to end the album. Superb. It's a 5.
5 stars, right? We've hit 5. We've hit 5 stars. We should have a 5-star alert going off, shouldn't we?
Yeah, 5-star alert. Whoop, whoop.
Right, well, my next album is going to set off the 5-star alert, and this is the toughest choice.
You've got 2 there, haven't you?
I've got 2, and they're both equally brilliant in different ways. Oh God, I'm really torn. I'm going to go at number 2. I'm switching it, and I'm going to go with The Liberty of Norton Folgate. I'm giving it 5 stars. I think it's absolutely unbelievable album. It's a critically acclaimed album. The reception it got in the press was unbelievable at the time in 2009. It was just amazing feedback. Super song, Sugar and Spice. What a great pop song. It's just a great pop single. Forever Young, Idiot Child, great songs. That Close is one of my favorite ever Madness songs. I just love
he does sing that, doesn't he?
Melancholy feel with the sax and the piano sort of playing against each other. It's magic. Out on the Town is one of the best breaking up songs I've ever heard. Rhoda Dakar is outstanding on it. Vocally, she's got this real beautiful sound going on, and she's singing beautifully but sounding really cheesed off at the same time.
How old is she now then?
Oh, I don't know. I daren't mention a lady's name online. Age even. But no, but she sounds great. She sounds absolutely great and really makes it. NW5 is a classic pop song. As I say, it's got a concept about sort of being in London and listing all these different places of London. I think it does. I think it's better than the Kinks Preservation Society sort of thing. I think it's better than that. It's a concept album. This
one. So Chrissy Boy married a lady from Cramlington. So
that's right.
Why aren't we hearing more songs about Cramlington? Come on, Chrissy, get your finger out. You know, he co-writes all the great stuff. Let's hear something about the shopping centre or something.
Or the View Cinema.
Yeah, I've been there.
I've been there quite a lot.
We saw the Queen, that Queen Bohemian art was brilliant. I love going there, like.
Yeah, great
film. I like at the pound shop. I'm just trying to throw out a few ideas for his song.
Getting back on track. It's a fantastic album. I mean, Clerkenwell Polka is superb. What an ending, what a tune. It's got that feel, it's got that beat, it's got the rhythm. And then, of course, the epic prog length, The Liberty of Norton Folgate, 10 minutes is magic. It's an epic song. It literally is an epic song, and it does everything you want. It's a fabulous album. It would be a double album by today's standards because it's about 60 odd minutes long. I've not included all the bonus tracks that you can get, like the Fish and Chip Shop and all the rest of it, but it's honestly, what an album, and it's not an album you can dip into and go, I'll play that song, and I'll play that song. You start it and you finish it, you go through the whole album like great albums should make you do. Start to finish, all the way, 5 stars. So Kirk, what's your number one?
Number one, Rise and Fall.
I knew it would be.
Absolutely brilliant. I was just thinking back to the time again when I, buying it on the day, and then I bumped into one of my friends, and he goes, "Oh, it's not nutty." I always remember that. I was walking down Shibden Bank and I bumped into him and he went, "It's not nutty." I don't know why I'm still remembering. Do you think I'd get over it for all these years? It's like it doesn't have to be. Have you not actually listened to the album? And I love the song. Rise and Fall is just absolutely brilliant. It is one of my favorite songs of all time. It is perfect. That song is perfect. As is Primrose Hill as well. I think it's great. Tomorrow's Just Another Day. It's excellent as well. We've got the Blue Skin Beast. Mr. Speaker, I think I've only heard that live when they played the Rise and Fall tour. I don't think it ever, obviously Chaz does the start.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Sunday Morning, lovely. Our House, well, one of the most perfect singles that you'll ever hear. It's great. The bass line is superb. It is brilliant.
It is. It's an outstanding song. It just is.
Yeah, Tiptoes, great song. New Delhi, That Face, Cold Cards. I mean, it's a great. And then ending with a track that I really love as well. Madness Is All in the Mind. I really like that song. I can't really put my finger on why it's so great, but I just still love it today. Perfect album. A great madness, and it holds up well today when you listen to it. The production is superb. The songs on it are superb. The way the track listing set out is excellent. I'm just looking back at Tiptoes as well. What a great song. Balanced on the Edge. Only Time Could Tell. Oh. Can I put in a 6? So yeah, 5.
5, right? Well,
that's my favorite Madness. That's the one. If I have all my Madness albums together, and I've got to play one, like if you've only got so much time to play something, that's the one. That gets it.
Well, mine for number 1 and 5 stars, as you know, is Wonderful. It does, as it says on the tin, it's wonderful. It's 41 minutes long. It's got Clive Lang and Alan Winstanley coming back again after the wilderness years, if you like. Come out in 1999. It's a remarkable album. I don't think there's an average track on it. Every single song is a killer. Love Struck, Johnny the Horse. What a great pair of songs to open with. I mean, Johnny the Horse is such an underrated tune. Love Struck, we've discussed previously, as a super song, but Johnny the Horse is a great song, really, really catchy, and tells the story. They then go through in the old Scarfield for the Communicator and do a great job on it. Then there's a twist. You got 4 a.m. What a magnificent melancholy song. It's breathtakingly good. It just feels lovely. And again, this little tale, Wizard, is just a daft song. I'm a wizard and there's magic in the air, and it's a magic song with good lyrics and works really, really well. Really catchy. The whole album's really catchy. Drip Fed Fred with Ian Jury just before he passed away is a beautiful song. It's in so many respects it's a live tribute to what they know that was inevitably going to happen to him at the time, and it's again really catchy chorus. You know, we want Freddie for a leader. He's a man of touch of class. It's just great. Works magnificently. I've mentioned previously where they played the video at the gigs beforehand, and people will be looking along and singing along. Just excellent. Elysium, another underrated tune, a really underrated tune. I'd love to see them play that one again. Really catchy. Saturday night, Sunday morning. You know, top song. Again, If I Didn't Care, great song, great groove I've written on that one. No Money, terrific song. One gripe, the song You're Wonderful should have been on the album. It's also a fabulous tune. There's not a bad song on this album. To make a proper comeback after such a long time away, because I'm not counting the Madness album because it's crap. After such a long time, 14 odd years or whatever it was, this is a great comeback album. Yeah. without a single duff song.
You can imagine them. I think every time we saw them, they realised having Mike Barson back on board. He's the leader. He was the one that controls everything, and he's so underrated. Does he get any recognition?
No. He's a unique player. He's a unique player with a unique sound. Like any musician, unique players have their own sound. A great player has their own tone. Whether it's guitar and it's Hank Marvin playing really simple straight notes, but you know who it is. Yeah. To sort of more complex stuff like Brian May or Johnny Marr, you know who they are. And the same goes with piano players. You know when Rick Macon's playing a piano note and all the rest of it. And you should know the same with Mike Barson, because he's a fantastic player, underrated, and a great songsmith as well. So wonderful for me. 5 stars. So there we have it. A real mix. You've gone for the more older stuff. I've gone for the more modern stuff there. So there's a real sort of conflict in styles. They are a band who don't date. They are a band who move on, in my opinion. They could easily have gone down that, let's sound like everything else, sound like the past, and they haven't. They've tried to push on. So if I had a hat on, I would take it off. So well done to the boys. Okay, so thank you for joining, folks. Please please subscribe. It'll boost our numbers and get us higher up on the system. Let us know your views. Your views are really important to us. And if anybody else would like to appear on the show, get in touch. We'd love to have you on the show. Okay, take care. Until the next time, goodbye.
Thank you.